Hello and welcome to Channel 2S, your home for Gunpla news, reviews, and more. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and it's time for some more Building with News. So the first picture of the night is of the box art for the high-grade Universal Century Barzam. This came in just after I talked about all the other box art for, what is it, April, May? Yeah, box art for May. I talked about the other ones that they did, you know, the the Schwarz Ritter. There we go, the Schwarz Ritter and the Dai Shogun Gundam Mark III. I talked a little bit about those. But the Barzam's box art didn't come in until just after I finished editing that video, so here it is now. You can see it. It's pretty awesome. Some people have pointed out that it's also in a very, very similar pose to the box art that was seen in Build Fighters Try, the kind of joke box art they did before they actually made a kit of the Barzam. Kind of funny, probably a coincidence, but still amusing nonetheless. Now over the last few days we have gotten our first glimpses at the Astaroth Rinascimeno. First we got this kind of head and chest close-up that didn't show us a whole heck of a lot. I mean, you can kind of tell there's some new stuff on here. He's very obviously got this big blue thing attached to his arm. And you can see that his head's kind of asymmetrical, but you couldn't tell much from this picture. So a few days later we got this, and this is admittedly kind of a blurry magazine shot. However, you can see the full body of the kit from the front and the back. As you can see, a lot of new stuff here. He's got much beefier armor, especially on his legs. I do like how that looks quite a lot. I'm also noticing that he has 2 demolition knives on his back instead of 1, which is pretty crazy awesome. And in a similar vein, we also have completely unpainted stock pictures of the Gundam Dantalion. Now, nothing of it with the cowl attached. All of this is just of the basic figure. However, he is showing off a very interesting weapon that looks like a kind of folding rifle that's also a sword. Interesting combination for sure. And finally, for Iron-Blooded Orphans, 2 new premium Bandai kits. A lot of people were kind of wondering when we were going to get the rest of the Shidens, and here they are. Ride's Shiden and Orga/Eugene's Shiden. Now, Ride's Shiden, as far as I can tell, is pretty much a straight recolor of the Ryusei Go, so nothing too special to see here, but it is nice to see this kit finally make it out. And of course, these are both premium Bandai models, which means either you need to live in/move to one of 3 specific Asian countries, or just talk to your local middleman. Speaking of premium Bandai, we also have a new premium Bandai Master Grade from 00 of all places. They're doing a premium Bandai version of the Master Grade GNX, and it is not the GNX3 from the 2nd season of the show, or the GNX4 from the movie. It's the Advanced GNX, probably the most obscure Jinx variant there is. And I have to say, I really did not see this coming. This is a very surprising premium Bandai release. It's a pretty cool looking variant, I will admit as well. It's definitely got some interesting things going on with the design. However, this is still the Master Grade GNX mold. And the Master Grade GNX mold has its share of problems. Basically, from what I've heard, the ankles and feet are like Exia's except even worse, and also the little kind of fin things that stick out of the torso don't like to stay on as well. So, haven't heard a lot of positive things about this kit, but if you really want one, I suppose you can get one when it comes to the Premium Bandai web shop. Following up on that, we have a brand new total surprise reveal in the form of the high-grade Universal Century Efreet Schneid. This kit, believe it or not, 100% retail. I am not joking, guys. We are getting a high-grade Universal Century of the freaking Efreet Schneid at retail. I am so happy to see this kit's coming out. They did show that Efreet Kai prototype at Gunpla Expo a while back, and apparently they decided, hey, you know what? If we do the Efreet Kai as a retail release and the Efreet Schneid as a premium Bandai release for the Re-100 line, why don't we switch it around for the high grades, so that way people who want both versions can get both versions at retail, and everybody wins. Now that may turn out to not be the case, as we have no confirmation of an Efreet Kai in any form so far other than that initial prototype, but if that does turn out to be the case, I will be very impressed with Bandai, because that's actually a very nice way to solve the issues we've been having with the Premium Bandai webshop lately, where everything seems to end up P-Bandai, and you know what? I really don't mind something being Premium Bandai as long as there is a mass retail alternative to it. So, high-grade Universal Century Efreet Schneid, totally awesome in my book. And if you look very carefully at the top of this picture of the Efreet Schneid, you will notice a pair of green feet peeking out of the top corner, and that is a great way to segue into the next kit we're going to be talking about, the Reborn 100 Hamma-Hamma. This is a kit that Bandai has been teasing for a long time, and finally, we have pictures of the actual model, and it looks awesome. Now, I will admit I am not a fan of the Hamma-Hamma's design, but even I have to admit that this thing looks pretty darn awesome. The color separation on this looks just as good as the Bawu. It looks like they've even got a separate piece in the shield for the Neo Zeon emblem, kind of like what they did, again, with the Bawu. Looking really great. All the thrusters and stuff are colored in properly. This looks like it's going to be a really impressive model, and also a very big one, as you can see by the price for this kit, because it is almost 5,000 yen. It's right around 4,800, 4,900, somewhere around there. So this guy's going to be quite a bit bigger than the standard Re-100s, which are like 3,500 yen, somewhere around there. It's really cool to see them tackling some more big models for the Reborn 100 line. Also, here is a very appropriate picture for the kit we're building, and this is a close-up of the head and upper body of the Ground Gundam S-Type. No other new pictures to go with it, just this one, but yeah. So finally, in the category of news no one cares about, more petite guy pictures. These are of those two petite guys we're getting with the placards in their hands. One of them's gray, one of them's kind of a reddish-brown color. They both have these kind of protester signs, and you get two different stickers so you can write different stuff on them. You get a bunch of different eye stickers. Looks like you get some star eyes and heart eyes as well if you want to do something like that for some reason. But at the end of the day, they're just another pair of petite guys, so not the greatest way to end out the night, but I think there was enough awesome stuff before this to definitely make up for the petite guys, because, come on guys, let's just take a look back at everything from tonight. So, Re-100 Hamma-Hamma, and then we got a complete and total out-of-nowhere reveal for the high-grade Universal Century Efreet Schneid. And then, of course, even though they're premium Bandai, we are getting those other two Shiden, so that's great as well. And on top of that, a GNX variant that I never thought we would ever see as a model kit, and I, quite frankly, didn't even know existed. Which makes it a great premium Bandai model, because the best P Bandai kits are the ones you look at and you go, wait, that's a thing? Like the GNX. Those kind of kits that are just so freaking weird and obscure that nobody really even knows or cares about them, so that when they come out, either you kind of like the design and you pick it up, or you just ignore it and pass over it. So before I start ranting too much about premium Bandai models, we should probably start work on the Atlas. So the interesting thing about the Atlas Gundam is there are actually no polycaps used anywhere in this model, so all the joints are just polystyrene on polystyrene connections, and that has me worried, because polystyrene on polystyrene connections are not that great. But hopefully this will go together okay. As you can see, there's just a little bit of stuff here we're doing on the torso. This kind of goes here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I didn't really pull in a light for this. So now these little shoulder sections are going to go right in here. Again, no polycaps, just basic polystyrene pieces. So now we're going to take this piece and plug it over the back, just like this. And that'll fit over there nice and tight. And then there's a bunch of these little pieces like this that kind of fit like this, I guess, or do they go the other way? I think they go like this. Then the other one goes in here on this side, and then the other one of these ones goes on the back, just like this. And I've noticed one thing about this kit that I didn't mention in the unboxing, but there are actually a lot of duplicate runners in this kit. In fact, pretty much every runner in here has a duplicate that is just kind of partially cut off. So they really only had to make around 5 new molds for this kit, even though it has 11 runners. And here we have the first stickers to go on the model, and these are the yellow stripes that run along the side here. Now they are very easy to apply since there's a raised edge that runs along the whole length, so you can pretty much just line them up with that. However, there is a very thin amount that is folded over the edge, and these things are going to be peeling up in no time. Fortunately, because of how little actually is supposed to roll over the edge, it's not really that noticeable if they do peel up, as they'll only be a little bit hanging over, so I'm actually not too worried about these in the long run. So next up, we're going to take these two pieces and clip them together to make the spine, and of course there's a sticker for those too. And this sticker just goes down over the back. Kind of ugly looking, but it's going over flat surfaces for the most part, so it's sticking itself down fairly well. Now there's a couple more yellow stickers that are going to go on the sides of these abdomen pieces. And again, these two do go on pretty easily. However, there's a little flap that wraps around this corner. Again, that's probably going to peel up over time. So now we're going to take one of those abdomen halves that we just stickered up, and we're going to stick this in here, and we're going to take this piece, and this is going to actually go over this, on this side. So these two go together like this, and we get this together, and it just locks in like that. And now there's a little bit of a joint here. So what it looks like we're supposed to do is fold this section in. So I guess this is just going to be the waist joint, it looks like. And we take the torso and we like clip this over. So his actual torso bend point is at his spine. That's actually kind of cool. That is pretty cool. So now it's time to make the cockpit cover. So we've got a very tiny Master Grade-esque piece of yellow right here. It's a very impressive bit of color separation, and if I can manipulate this freaking thing into place properly, it should just drop in just like that and poke through just a little bit and make a nice little relief right there. And then this is going to peg over that piece right here, and this is the ball cockpit. Now all we have to do is just add these 3 stickers to this. So, stickers on, and they're okay, I guess. It's not as clear where you're supposed to put them since there's kind of a ridge. They have to have them kind of half on, half off. The gray part goes in the high spot, the yellow half goes in the low spot, and you kind of crimple it down a bit and squish it down here. Now again, lots of surface area this is clinging to, so these are probably not going to peel up, but they're also very thin stickers, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of these start to fold up if you mess with the cockpit on this guy too much. But anyways, let's put that cockpit on him. So this piece is just going to go right over here, as you might expect, just like that. And can this be lifted up? Like, obviously you can take it off again, but I'm kind of wondering if you can like attach this in like kind of an open position. Nope, looks like it's just an on or off kind of thing. So now that the torso is done, it's time to move on to the head. So the first piece on here has a little sticker on it. This is the eye camera sticker, and this is the only camera sticker you get on this kit. There's no forehead camera, no rear facing camera, just the ones in the eyes. So as usual with a high grades head, you start by putting the face mask on the face, and then you grab some head parts, such as the back of the head right here, and you kind of, let me see if I can pull this into focus. You kind of drop it over this, just like that. And it looks like this guy's cheek vents are going to be colored in. That's pretty cool. That's not always something you see on a high grade like this, because a lot of times, you know, you get little details like that on the side. They're not colored in. In this case they are. I think that is pretty awesome. So there's a little piece right here, and this piece looks like it goes over the V-fin. Yes, it just plugs down over the V-fin like this, and then you plug that whole thing onto his head. And there you go. This guy has a very cool looking, I'm going to try to see if I can get this in focus, because it's a very cool looking, very detailed head. I'm very impressed by the color separation on this as well. Just in general, very hard to get his head on the neck joint without popping his V-fin apart. Hopefully the tight joint application means that this will be a tight neck joint, and no, it's just about normal. I can definitely see this loosening up over time because, again, polystyrene on polystyrene. At least he's got good color separation though. And now the head and torso build is basically done, but let's waste some time building the waist. Ha ha ha. Anyways, to build the waist, you're going to start by taking these pieces and not putting them in this way, because that's not the way they go. They go in like this. They have them facing this way with the little tick marks facing up and the slanty side matching the slanty side of the waist armor piece. And you want to do this for the front piece. Okay, had a moment of distress there where I thought I lost this piece, but I found it. So where were we? Oh yeah, we were putting these little detail pieces on the skirt armor. So this one goes in the front skirt just like that. I've already put the ones in the back skirt. These are the same pieces used on the front and back. Again, because this guy has duplicates of most of the runners, there's a lot of shared pieces between areas that you wouldn't normally expect to see shared pieces. So we're going to make the waist joint section by taking these two pieces and sticking them together like this. And it's these two pieces, not those two. That other one's going to come in just a moment. And that moment is now, because it's going to fit together like this. Yeah, that's right. So this comes up like this. So now we have this little kind of double connector right here. And this goes right here. And then this goes in the front right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and take the little yellow part, stick it over there, and grab those front skirts again because they fell out since they had nothing supporting them. So we're going to put something on here so that the front skirts can stand on their own. And you know what? Probably be easier if I took the front skirts and I put them in this piece before putting the whole thing onto the armor right here. That's my suspicion, and it is confirmed. So there we go, guys. That is the finished waist unit. All we have to do now is stick it onto the torso, and just kind of quickly testing out these joints. They're a little weak. I am not super impressed with them. I'm certainly not expecting this to support much weight once we get all the sub legs on this guy, but for the most part right now, he doesn't seem to be that bad. I guess we'll have to wait and see how these joints last in the long run. So there you have it, guys. Tonight's progress on the high-grade Atlas Gundam. I'm definitely interested in this kit so far. It's a very intriguing build. There are some good points here, some bad points here. Definitely interested to see how this kit pans out once it's finished. And of course we had some awesome new stuff to talk about there at the beginning too. So that was pretty fun. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed tonight's video, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more awesome Gunpla stuff. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell because YouTube doesn't always send subscriptions to your sub box, and also I live stream sometimes and you don't want to miss that. And finally, as always, I'm your host Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time.